Hi there, welcome to this week's show. Now I'm going to show you today 3 ways that you can do a turkey breast for Christmas Day, or for any time throughout the year for that matter, but of course we're close to Christmas, so I'm doing it for that purpose. Now Ingham's have sent me some beautiful turkey buffs. A turkey buff is in fact the whole breast, both sides of a turkey. It's had the wings taken off completely, the neck's taken off, and what you get is just that whole buff. Now if you come back to the website blackbookcooking.com, you'll be able to see how to remove the breast from the buff. I've done a separate little video about that, so today we're just working with the breasts themselves. And the reason I'm doing this is because not everybody wants a whole bird for Christmas, and if you're somebody that perhaps is a little scared of cooking an entire bird, or maybe you don't eat the entire bird, or you find it a bit dry, then this is a great alternative. I always do turkey breasts as opposed to an entire bird. I find them easy to work with, they cook quicker, and they're much more moist as well. So I'm going to show you 3 different things you can do with them today, and you can choose one of them or all 3 and have 3 completely different varieties for your Christmas lunch. So what we're going to be doing, if we just have a look at the ingredients that I have in front of me here, we're actually going to stuff one completely with a pre-made stuffing, and I've already made the stuffing. Again, come back to the website blackbookcooking.com and have a look at the basic stuffing recipe, and there is a video to go with that as well. We're going to be using a dried fruit paste for one of them, and there's a recipe and a video on the website for that as well. And this is already pre-made. I've used 3 different types of dried fruit here with mine, but you can use any that you like. It also has garlic in it, ginger, and some sage, so it's a savoury sweet paste, and we're going to be spreading that inside, and then we're going to be putting over the top of that, before we roast it, a beautiful sweet fragrance. Now a lot of people wouldn't necessarily put this on top of a turkey, on something savoury, but I use it and it's quite divine, and it has rose petals in it as well. And the different ingredients that are in this are coriander, cassia, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, poppy seeds, cloves, cardamom, and of course the rose petals. And we're going to spread some of that over the top of our turkey, and then we'll do some basting while it's in the oven, and it will give it this lovely sweet flavour, which will be just gorgeous. And then I'm going to do one which is really easy and simple, and for those of you who perhaps don't have a lot of oven space and or also want to do everything together and make sure it all comes together at the same time, we're going to cook one in an oven bag with a little bit of lemon pepper on the top, and we're going to put all of the vegetables inside it. So it's almost a moist heat cooking version, as opposed to a dry heat, which is just the oven heat, because it's inside the bag. It's going to produce all its own juices, and in fact the juices that come off it afterwards you can use to make your gravy as well. Plus all the vegetables will be cooked at the same time except for your greens. So that's a great alternative, and it's also guaranteed to give you a really moist bird, and of course that's something everybody loves to have with turkey. And I've just picked a number of different vegetables to use. You can use whatever vegetables you like to have on Christmas Day. Potatoes, if you want to have those roasted, do them separately. I've got sweet potato, and we're going to put some onions in there as well. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to do each of the breasts. Okay, the first one we're going to do is we're going to just stuff our breast. So you can do it one of 2 ways. You can either come in under this way, or you can come in under this way, and I tend to come down through this way, and I'm going to leave my skin on, and what I'm going to do using a nice sharp knife is literally just make a pocket inside my turkey breast. Do it gently. Leave the skin on when you're doing the cooking. You can take it off afterwards if having the fat on that is an issue for you, but it will help to keep your bird moist, because we are going to roast this one in the oven. So we want to make a fairly deep pocket. Try to open him up completely so that you have got plenty of room to put your stuffing in there. Okay, so now we just take our stuffing, our pre-made stuffing, and we just pack that into the cavity that we've just created. Make it nice and tight. You want it nice and full. The great thing about this is that once we've cooked it, we'll be able to just slice straight through, and everybody will get a little bit of that stuffing and the bird as well. Now, holding him together, you can use toothpicks or you can use skewers, and I tend to use wooden skewers, and I will just go through the outside and hold him in place like that. You can put more in if you like, and these will be removed obviously before we serve and slice. And that's all there is to it. Now I will just salt and pepper that before I place it into the oven, but it will just go into a baking dish and be ready to roast at the normal turkey temperatures, which you'll also find on the website. So let's do the second one. Now for our second breast, we're going to need to open him up a little bit in a little bit bigger way. So we're going to just leave the tenderloin there, and what I want you to do, or attempt to do, it's not always easy, is almost slice it twice. We're going to do a thin slice this way first to open this one out. Then turn him around, and we're going to go back in again underneath, so we almost are going to spread him right out, really, really flat and thin. Just do this gently so that you don't cut all the way through. Okay, so what we've got now is a nice flat area that we can work with. So just taking your paste that you've pre-made, we're going to just spread that all over the inside of the breast. Make it a little thicker in some of those empty pocketed areas. Now what we want to do is we want to roll. And again, we're going to need to skewer. You'll get some of it coming out, that's okay. Put a skewer through and try and close up those areas as much as possible. And then you want to add your spices over the top. Now I just put them on dry, be liberal with them, and then pat them in. And that one's now ready for the oven as well, so we'll pop them in the same tray because we're going to roast them together. The beauty of multifunction ovens. Now for our last one, I'm going to use the oven bag, and you can buy these from the supermarket, a lot of different brands. They're basically almost like a cellophane really, and they're really easy to work with. They have a little piece at the top that usually comes off like this. You just peel that away because that's going to become our tie, and then they just open up and we put the ingredients inside. So we'll just take our breast here. Now what I'm going to do before I pop it into the bag is I'm going to put some spice on the top, so herbs and spice. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon pepper, which I absolutely love and which really gives any poultry a delicious flavour. What it will also do is flavour the juices that come off this, and it will be fantastic for our gravy afterwards. Again, just pat that in like you did the dried fruit stuffed one. Take your bag and lift up the breast and just place it inside the bag. Spread him out, and we're going to add some vegetables in there as well. So I've just said, I've got some sweet potatoes, some ordinary potatoes. I'm going to just place those all the way around the outside of the meat. Some onions, whole onions, little baby shallots, and some potatoes. Gorgeous. Once you have all of those in together, now they don't need to be spread out. They're going to cook quite nicely together in there. Tie that off with the little piece that you tore off. Place the whole thing into a baking dish. And we want to prick that just a little bit so that it won't burst in the oven. So just use a skewer to make a few holes in the top. that's it, the same temperature in the oven, and they'll all take about the same length of time to cook, which is will depend on the weight of the turkey breast that you use. So mine are all around about 600 grams, 700 grams each, so they're going to take probably around about an hour or so to cook in the oven. So let's pop them in. Well, that was very, very easy to do, as you can see, and it's a lovely alternative for those of you who don't necessarily want to cook an entire bird at Christmas time, and I know a lot of you out there. Also great if you don't have a lot of oven space. If you're cooking for a lot of people, then this is a great way to do it, because you can put three or four of those in one baking dish, which is really, really economical, and it will take up a lot less room. They take the same length of time to cook no matter what you've put in them and what stuffing is there. The stuffed one will take a little bit longer, but not dramatically, because we are working with quite a small amount. And don't forget to make sure you get in early to buy your turkey breasts or the buffs from your supermarket, because they will go quickly. They are very, very popular. Ingham's have provided these for me today, so I can show you how to do these three lovely recipes. So make sure you get in early and have them ready for Christmas. I hope you have a great Christmas. Don't forget, more recipes, more videos back on the website, blackbookcooking.com, and of course you can connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, and I will see you again very soon. I'm Victoria Hanson.